Model steam engines for beginners. This is part 26. Slide valves and steam port dimensions. What happens if they are wrong? How to rectify the problem. I'm currently working on a series all about rebuilding a model steam plant, and one of the engines in the plant is a Stuart 10V like this one. And here it is as I was putting it back together. This number 10 is a good example of a number 10. The steam ports are in the correct position. They're actually part of the casting, and sometimes the casting process can be slightly less than accurate. On a miniature steam locomotive with slide valves, you would normally mill the ports with a milling machine. But as a number 10V is a very small engine, it's better done this way. This is a slide valve, and if you look at the crossbar that pushes the slide valve up and down, you will see that it's quite loose really. In fact, this one is a bit too loose. The slide valve needs to float on the crossbar. It's the pressure of steam that holds it against the port face. The other less obvious benefit of having a slide valve that is allowed to float on the port is when the engine is coasting. This is especially important, once again, in miniature steam locomotives. Once the regulator is shut and no steam is getting into the steam chest, the slide valve can just float loose on top of the ports. This slide valve is not brilliant, and have you spotted the problem yet? I'll give you a clue. It's nothing to do with the fact that the crossbar is a rattle fit. At this stage I'm assembling the slide valve and I'm using plenty of steam oil. In this clip I'm initially connecting the eccentric rod to the valve fork, which means then I can rotate the engine and see where the slide valve is relative to the ports. The slide valve in this number 10V steam engine is fitted the wrong way around. But I'm not being very scathing about this because, to be honest, it's quite useful to have it the wrong way around in certain engines if the position of the steam ports on the port face are not in the right position. In this case, I don't even need to see the problem. After fitting the steam chest cover, I connect the compressed air supply and rotate the crankshaft. At each end of the stroke, the engine blows really badly. What's happening is the air that's going into the steam chest is being let into both steam and exhaust ports at the same time. When I remove the steam chest, I can clearly see this. There's a gap at each end. So the valve is in the wrong way around. To further demonstrate this principle, I've refitted the drain cocks. And with the slide valve in a certain position, when I open the drain cocks, air comes out of both of them. This state of affairs is incredibly common on small steam engines. Because it's a steam engine, even though it's set up completely wrong, it still runs anyway. There are two distinct schools of thought on this. There is a sensible school of thought that acknowledges that there is a problem, but then there is another school of thought. Despite the fact that there is negligible power coming from the engine because the compressed air or steam is being blown to exhaust all the time, the engine actually sounds good. It chuffs at the end of each stroke. And the faster it runs, the more power it does appear to have. The power at low speed is abysmal. The power at warp speed is interesting. The engine appears to run very well indeed, but this is not the case, and the exhaust blast is extreme. Quite good, I suppose, if you want to run it with a coal-fired boiler. It really would draw the fire. But then the excess steam wastage would evaporate too much water. There's only one thing for it. I removed the steam chest cover, disconnected the valve rod, pulled out the steam chest and turned the valve around inside the steam chest. Now it runs like this, which is much better. The power strokes are far more powerful. The exhaust note is much better and the engine runs extremely slowly and still has quite a lot of power even at this speed. This video is all about slide valves, not wonky flywheels. This flywheel's accurately turned, but it's not right. I'm going to buy another flywheel from Stuart Models and turn it properly. What I'm looking at the moment is the slide valve's timing. With a small amount of compressed air connected to the engine, when I rotate the crankshaft, and I can feel and hear when the steam is admitted to the cylinder. I'm running the engine so fast in this clip, I'm having to hold it down to the workbench. I'm not just doing this for the fun of it. When I work on steam engines, I like to push them past their safety limit. And if the engine is going to fail, it's going to fail when I'm doing this, and not when the entire steam plant is finished and sat on the new owner's workbench. There's plenty of lubrication, that is essential, particularly for the cylinder. I'm using steam oil, and normally I pump some into the steam line, then I reconnect it to the compressor. This gives an oil supply to the cylinder for quite a while. Also, periodically I stop the engine and re-lubricate the bearings, because at this speed the oil is flying off away from the moving parts, and that's not how I want it to be. To finish, I'm going to run the engine in slow motion. The valve timing is almost correct. I will be tweaking it obsessively as usual until I get it really correct. Compressed air or steam admission is just before the piston reaches top dead centre and bottom dead centre, because don't forget, on a steam engine like this, the piston is double acting. It's a fact that so many of my viewers don't realise about the double acting piston and think it's like a car engine, and it's not at all. Quite frankly, some of these comments are beginning to get tedious. Where ignorance is bliss, 'tis folly to be wise. And that's it for this episode. I'd just like to say, as I always do, stay safe, stay healthy. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found it useful.
Please take the time to visit my main Steam Models website and click on the section of the website that says Video Playlists. And by doing that, you can find other videos that you may like to watch. And by using the playlists, you can actually watch the videos back to back.